Welcome, collectors and heavy equipment enthusiasts. You've joined us just in time for an all-new Diecast Emporium review. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the just-released Herpa 187 scale Vogela Super 1900-3i tracked asphalt paver in HO or 187 scale. Now, this is a model that I have wanted and had on the pre-order list since the second it was announced earlier this year. If you're not familiar with Herpa, they are a European company that specializes in HO or 187 scale vehicles. Just a year or so ago, they released this epic 187 scale model, which I also have a review of, and it is the Wirtgen W250i coal planer. So if you want to see a closer look at this model, take a look at the top right corner of your screen. You'll see a suggested link that pops up right about now that you can click on and watch this review. So Herpa is at it again, this time in the same paving realm, but it's the Vogela Asphalt Paver. As you can see, it's in the Herpa red clear window style packaging. You can see the model inside the box and also an additional piece. That is an optional folded down canopy accessory if you want to pose this paver on a low boy for transport, or because it is HO scale, on perhaps a flat car on your model railroad layout. So the box is pretty plain, other than the Herpa logo on both sides, herpa.de. Back, same thing, a lot of Herpa information, most of it is in German. So let's go ahead and pop open one side flap, not waste any more time, and get this out of the box. So the Vogela Super 1900-3i is a rather large paver in the real world. It is capable of paving several lanes at once, especially when the optional screed extensions are out. Now that you have the paver out of the box, you can see that it is held between two plastic formers. Thankfully, you don't have to do any cutting. There's no twist ties. Just pull apart the two plastic formers. Carefully lift your paver out because there are a few delicate pieces that could potentially break if you mishandle the model. And the only other piece out of the box is the optional canopy accessory. Okay, beginning the review now. Obviously, even if you don't know that much about paving equipment, you know that this is a Vogela model because they are the only pavers, at least in the modern era, that have that distinct green and yellow paint scheme livery. And that's no different on the scale model. It stands out rather well. You can see the decals are applied crisply and look very good, including Super 1900-3i. The W is for the Wirtgen group, which obviously is the parent company of Vogela. You have Vogela over here, and again, another W for the Wirtgen group. If you're watching this in 2021 or even in 2022, obviously the Wirtgen group is owned now by John Deere. Looking at the front of the model, you can see that the canopy is yellow with the Vogela name printed on top of it. The main die-cast element on this model is the hopper sides. Everything else, for the most part, is made of high-impact durable plastic, at least to my eye. The tracks that you'll see in a minute are rubber. You can see that the hopper sides do deploy in or out. Again, we'll take a closer look at that during the functionality aspect. You have a plastic, very thin exhaust, mirrors. On this side, very much the same thing that we saw before, including two operator seats, a detailed control console, which may be a little bit difficult to see on camera, but there are decals that make it stand out and look very realistic. Safety hand railing all throughout, including on the screed extensions. And then you have diamond-plated texturing that actually do have texturing on them, as you can hear as I move the pointer over them, including all the way at the back part of the screed. From this angle, you can see the silvered surfaces for the mirrors. Again, those are non-reflective, but if you wanted to, you can fold them outwards, especially if you need to reduce the size of the machine for transport. Okay, back on the side where we started, you can see the casting detail is for the vents, where it's actually, again, perforated. You can hear and see that. Looking underneath the paver, you can see the bolt detailing on the rubber track pads. The material auger screw, not functional. It's just there for looks. And same thing can be said about the main screed back here. Unfortunately, the stand parts right here where, again, the operator would stand, Those do not fold up either. So now, let's turn our attention to functionality. Although this is a 1/87 scale paver and it's very small, this thing is absolutely loaded with functionality. We begin at the front, where you can fold in both of the hopper sides. In the real world, this allows you to get all of your material onto the material belt, seen here. Your rollers do not actually roll to engage a truck at the front, but you can see these small hopper sides do move and flex. Your exhaust stack can be folded down, again, for transport. I already showed you that the mirrors can be folded towards the front of the machine. On this side, we can see that the tracks can be made to move by hand because they are rubber, but I would encourage you against that because they are very tight and you may potentially break something. If we look inside, you can see that the main operator's control center here is over to the right, but you can slide it the entire length over here to the left or slide it to the right, and it can also be angled as seen here. We'll get a better look at that when we take the canopy off. Finally, that leaves us to the business end of the paver, where it is now in the raised position. We will lower it to begin our paving mode. Moving towards the back, we're going to pave more than just a single lane of asphalt now by extending the screed sides out. And doing that, you can get a very realistic pose of several lanes being paved at once with the sides fully extended out. But that's not all. Now, we will put the paver in a transport configuration if we are moving it from job site to job site. So let's fold our machine back up, put the hopper sides in, fold our exhaust stack down. To do this, to remove the canopy, push in on these two sides carefully, like here. Again, they are mounted at the back, and you want to do this carefully and patiently. Push in simultaneously, and then remove. That shows you the paver in more of an American-style, conventional style, where there's actually no canopy on it at all, which, of course, you could leave your machine like this if you wanted. But let's put the other canopy on it, just to show you that you can do that. And it mounts very much the same way as removing the original. Put it in towards the back by squeezing it in. Make sure your holes are lined up. Can be finicky to do, so be patient and use some care when doing this so you don't break anything. And once it is lined up, you now have a canopy that in essence is now folded down for transport. So let's bring in our 1/87 scale lowboy. Here's our 1/87 scale lowboy. We now have our paver loaded up and on the truck for transport, and it now can be transported to the next job site to pave the next road. All right, well, paver is now at the job site. Let's get him set up for its next round of paving. Set our screed down, open up our hopper conveyor, put our exhaust back up. This time we're not going to put any canopy on it at all, just to show you what it looks like without a canopy. We've got our stuff down. We need a dump truck. So our dump truck with our hot mix is here. He is backed up to the paver's hopper. Now we need a roller to compact the mix. So how about a Ham HD Plus 110? Again, a family of the Wirtgen group. How appropriate. And very quickly, you can have a desktop small paving diorama. So in conclusion, the Herpa Vogele Super 1900-3i tracked asphalt paver in 1/87 scale is an extremely nice paver to add to your collection or to add to your model layout. It is not an inexpensive piece at nearly $100, but as I've just demonstrated over the course of the last 9.5 minutes, there are tons of different posing opportunities, and although the model is tiny in 1/87 scale, it features nearly all of the functionality of a larger 1/50th scale paver and a lot of the same details. As always, I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like and share it with your friends. And if you are not already, please be sure to subscribe to us here on Diecast Emporium, as we release new review videos every single week. Thank you guys again so much. Take a look at your screen right now. We will have 2 new suggested videos of recent uploads to the channel. So if you enjoyed this video, chances are you'll enjoy those videos. So go show them some love. Until next time, take care, be safe, be well. I'll see you in the next review.